What's up, my friends? I hope you're doing fantastic. I recently added a new LED light to my production rig and I absolutely love it. And because this channel is all about providing as much value to you in the cinematography, business, tech, gear realm, I figured I'd show it to you because I'm all about trying to give you tools that I use that work really well for the type of work that we do as cinematographers. So the company is called D&O Lighting, and they reached out to me about a year ago about possibly sending me this light once it actually came out, and after COVID and all that, it kind of was longer than expected, and now the light is out. And they sent it to me because I had mentioned to them I was looking to possibly add a new light to my rig. So for the last year, I was using this LED fold-up type of light for almost all the work we did, and it worked really, really well. But I found too many times I wanted a little bit more light, or I wanted a little bit more of a versatile light that had barn doors or some sort of flexibility with the light. And I also wanted something that could be battery powered, and those things are kind of hard to find when you're talking about a powerful light that can still run from a battery but still give you enough power. So this is a non-paid review, but I will say that I would absolutely pay for this light if I wasn't sent it, because it does check all the boxes of what I actually wanted in a light, which was portable, battery powered, color temperature controlled. It has a really easy carrying case, it's easy to just use, and it is super bright for being battery powered. So instead of going into all the details about the light and all the specs, I will leave a link down below that takes you to the site if you want to look at all the nerdy specs. I just want to tell you about what I really, really like about the light and why I think you'd like it as well. And then if you want to know any of the additional crazy in-depth specs about the light, you can check it out on their website. For those who are interested, it is a 97 plus CRI rating, which is a very high quality light. So if you don't know what any of that means, that probably doesn't matter to you anyway, but it's a very good quality light, which is super important with video because you want a light that doesn't flicker. You want a light that looks really, really good and consistent. So that's the most important spec that you may be curious about. So let's talk a little bit about the actual light itself. No question about it, my favorite feature, and to me what is the best feature of this light, is the fact that it is battery powered. If you know the type of work we do a lot of stuff where we're kind of out and about and not always in a controlled environment where we can run power at all. And what I always have loved about the little portable torch lights that I used to use is the fact that they were battery powered. I could get the same light regardless of where I was at. Being able to have a light that does a lot more than those little torches that I use, but still have it battery powered, is awesome. They actually make this battery themselves. So this is actually a D&O Lighting branded battery. So it is perfectly paired with this. It's just a V-mount battery, so obviously you can get other type of V-mount batteries, but I really like the fact that it can be battery powered. Even shoots that I get to that have power available, more times than not, I just use the battery power until it runs out, and I have 4 of the battery so I can use it for a long period of time. But it's just easier. I like not having to worry about the cable, not having to worry about the cable being long enough, which I will say, it's pretty awesome when a company sends you a power cable with the light, but it's also really, really long. This is by far the longest power cable I've ever gotten with an actual accessory of any sort. But who wants to use a cable at all when you can use a battery? That's literally the best part about this actual light. I have not tested exactly how long it actually will last yet, because up to this point, every time I've used it on all battery power and it's never actually went dead. The shoots haven't been that much longer than an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours tops, and it's consistently worked, which is awesome. But obviously you can get more than one battery, so you can continuously power it all day if you actually were out and about and you wanted to get more batteries for it. But the great thing is that if you are in a controlled environment that has a power outlet, the great thing is it does come with the actual power cable, which is long, and you don't have to worry about it running dead at all. In terms of operation, it's pretty simple. There's a power button, and then there's your brightness and your actual color temperature. Now, one thing to note about using this on battery power, when you are using the battery, you can only put the intensity up to 65% of the power in daylight. Now, most times that's still plenty bright enough. We just used it recently in an outdoor shoot so that we could keep the background not completely blown out, and it worked fine. 65% was still plenty bright enough. But if you do want to use that 100% power, which I really think won't be that often, to be honest, because the light's so bright, you would have to power it from the actual power cable rather than the battery. So that's really all there is when it comes to the back of the actual light and how it operates. You have brightness, you have temperature control, and a power button, and your actual power switch. They have a really, really nice heat sink built into this. I don't know all the specs of those kind of things, but I know that when talking with them, this apparently gets like significantly cooler than most lights of this capacity because of just the heat sink they designed for it, something like that. But that's all, you know, nerdy stuff that I don't know much about. I just know how to use the lights. The light itself weighs about 13 pounds, so it's definitely not that heavy of a light. It's obviously a little bit heavier than, you know, the small little torch lights I used to use, but it's still very light comparison to some of the bigger ones that you have to lug around. So it's still nice and portable. This is on a very light duty stand right here, and it's not having any problem whatsoever. Obviously, if you're raising this high, it's probably better to use it on a C-stand or a very powerful light stand, just so that you can, a more heavy duty light stand, I should say, so that it doesn't fall over. But it's not so incredibly heavy that you have to worry about even putting tons of sandbags and everything on your everyday light stand, because it's just not that heavy. In the event that the built-in diffuser is not enough and you want the light even softer, I really love the fact that they have this awesome diffuser that you can put directly on the light to really soften it up. And the great thing about this is it's completely foldable and will fold into itself and into the little case that's included with it, so you can just get it out of the way. Some of the other lights that have big soft boxes like this, it's such a large light and a large soft box that it's also not even really portable to use. This just really quickly breaks down, and then it has these little magnetic things that make it so that it stays nice and firm. And you literally just clip it to the front of the actual light once the barn doors are open. So once you have the diffuser on, you can just have a nice, really, really soft light available. And you can still get it obviously very bright to completely blow me out. But you can also get it really soft, which is great for talking head stuff, interview stuff, maybe even lighting something really nicely on the table to shoot something. I love that you can put this on the light to soften it up, but yet it doesn't take up all the bulk when you're not using it, because you can just simply take it off, fold it up, and put it right away. So what's this light look like? Let us show you a couple of examples. So here's a basic example of the light at about a 45-degree angle, and the camera is over in that direction. The light is not that close to me, and we have the diffuser on it, but you can just see a nice basic lighting setup. This might be something we do for a piece like this where it's just a talking head thing, lots of natural light in the background, so we don't need a ton of light in the overall room, but it does just a really nice job of just filling in the face, which is obviously very important. What I really like about this light is, unlike the other lights I've used in the past where they're good at filling in softness but not really being able to get very strong, this light's great because I can use that diffuser to really soften up the light to just fill in light, but I also can take it off and crank it up, and with so much more power than my previous lights, I can really use it to produce a lot of light, which is really useful in something like a backlit situation. So in the past, we've come to situations like this where maybe there's a really strong backlight, and obviously the only way to keep the background exposed correctly is you have to have enough light on the front of the subject to actually match the exposure. If you had no light available to fill it in, you'd have to just obviously make the exposure for the person here, and then it would blow out the background and give kind of that look like it's kind of heaven behind them, which obviously is not a great look from a video production standpoint. But the problem we had in the past is, with our light being underpowered, we never could get the exposure to match because the light wasn't bright enough. So with our previous light, you can see that it still works and fills in some of the light that makes it way better than nothing at all, but it's still not bright enough to actually be able to expose properly to me while still maintaining the background to be exposed correctly as well, which is why I really, really like the D&O light, because it gives us a lot more power. As you can see from this example, just how much more light this produces from our previous light. It really is nice because it gives you a lot of flexibility in the amount of light that you need. It's rare that we obviously would have a shoot like this and choose this to be the background, but every once in a while you get a situation that's difficult and you need to have a really powerful light, but not having to lug around all the weight that usually comes with a really powerful light has been something that we've really been enjoying. You may come across a situation like this where there's enough light in the room in general, but you want just a little bit of light, and this light just so softly brings in a perfect amount of light that you can just adjust as much as you want. You can bring it closer. This is only at about maybe 10% or something really low, and it just fills in light really, really nicely. But being able to have that softness with the brightness capacity that this light has, it just gives flexibility that I haven't really found in a light before. So this is the case that comes with the light, and it's nice because it's a very small, portable case. It's almost like a briefcase style, and it's really easy to just carry the light around. Inside the case has the actual remote control where you can adjust the brightness, you can adjust the color temperature, the power. So it's great if you're a one-man operation and you want to be able to adjust your light, but you can't control it, and maybe it's high enough on a stand that you can't even reach it. So it's really nice having this remote control with it. If you are using batteries on a regular basis, you do have to keep those somewhere else. They don't fit in the actual case. The only thing that fits in the case is the light itself, the power cable, and the remotes. So overall, I'm really happy with this light so far. It's something that I feel like we've utilized a lot already, and it's awesome being able to have a battery powered light that has this kind of flexibility. There already have been so many shoots that we are doing remotely that sure, we probably could find a spot to plug it into an outlet, but it's just so much easier and convenient to be able to just carry it on a stand, put it where we need, get the light on there, and be able to have it anywhere that we need it, which has been awesome for us. So it's always my goal to bring as much value to you as possible, and as someone that does video production for a profession, I really love when I come across products that I feel like make your filming easier and better. So if you're interested in this light, there's links down below to check it out. If you do pick up this light, would love to know what you think, so leave a comment down below. If you have any questions about it, I'd be happy to answer them as well. And until next time, thanks for watching.